0, is situated inside the trough as indicated between the northern edge of Sumatra and the small island of Simeulue, one member of the chain of islands next to the trench. Neither this trough relief reveals anything unusual nor does the comparatively moderate depth of the Sunda Trench of less than 5,000 m, the shallower sister of the conspicuous, adjacent Java Trench southeast of it. The existing records of earthquakes of more than magnitude 5.5 in the Sumatra area since 1970 have clearly shown that their great majority, including the epicenter of the giant tsunami, occurred within the shallow strip between the coastline of Sumatra and the adjacent subduction trench rim. In other words, they occurred on the edge of the overriding plate. Epicenter of giant tsunami. Java Trench. According to Abbott, the Indian-Australian plate moves obliquely toward western Indonesia at 5.3 to 5.9 cm/year, 2 to 2.3 in/year. The enormous, ongoing collision results in subduction-caused earthquakes that are frequent and huge. Many of these earthquakes send off tsunami. On December 26, 2004, 1.200 kilometers, 740 miles, long fault rupture began as 100 kilometers, 62 miles, long portion of the plate tectonic boundary ruptured and slipped during a minute. The rupture then moved northward at 3 km per second, 6,700 miles per hour, for 4 minutes. Then slowed to 2.5 km per second, 5,600, during the next 6 minutes. At the northern end of the rupture, the fault movement slowed drastically and only traveled tens of meters during the next hour. It appears that a bend or scissors-like tear in the subduction plate may have delayed the full rupture in December 2004. Deformation of sea floor and sea surface. Shulgin et al. Stated that the tectonics around northern Sumatra are predominantly controlled by the subduction of the oceanic Indo-Australian plate underneath Eurasia. The current convergence rate offshore northern Sumatra is estimated at 51 mm/year. The increasing obliquity of the convergence northwards from the Sunda Strait results in the formation and development of a number of arc parallel strike-slip fault systems. The most significant are the Sumatra and the West Andaman fault systems, accommodating arc parallel strain offshore central southern Sumatra. For the Mentawai fault system, recent findings suggest deformation dominated by backthrusting. Subduction of Indian-Australian plate beneath Indonesia. Shulgin et al. Subsequently, Kelmelis et al., the Indo-Australian plate is moving approximately 40 to 50 mm per year to the northeast, and the earthquake ruptured at the subduction zone boundary or interpolate thrust boundary. On the fault, the earthquake had a maximum slip of approximately 15 to 20 meters with an average slip of greater than 5 meters along the full length of the rupture. The sea floor overlying the thrust fault would have been raised by several meters. Further, velocities of displacement along 1,200 to 1,300 kilometers of the fault with at least 3 major energy bursts during the propagation of the rupture, 50 to 150 seconds, 280 to 340 seconds, and 450 to 500 seconds. Location of hypocenter of 2004. At 0:58 and 53 seconds UC, 7:58 and 53 seconds local time, December 26, 2004, an undersea earthquake was occurred along a tectonic subduction zone in which the India plate in general shows that the tsunami reaches Phuket and Sri Lanka coast in 2 hours after the earthquake, and African coast in 8 to 11 hours. The tsunami propagation is also animated, up to 5 hours, from a 1,200 km fault. The red color means that the water surface is higher than normal, while the blue means lower. It indicates that initial tsunami to the east, for example, Phuket, began with receding wave, while to the west, for example, Sri Lanka, large wave suddenly reached. The darker the color, the larger the amplitude. The tsunamis were larger in the east and west directions. Tsunami wave propagation during 2004. The tsunami was caused by movement along a fault line running through the seabed of the Indian Ocean. As the fault runs north-south, the waves traveled out across the ocean in mainly easterly and westerly direction with duration of 7 hours that shook the world. At 00:58 GMT, an undersea earthquake measuring 9.3 on the Richter scale occurs off Indonesia. At plus 15 minutes later, the Indonesia island of Sumatra, close to epicenter of the quake, is hit by the full force of tsunami. Many towns and villages in Aceh province on the western tip of the island are completely washed away, and the capital, Banda Aceh, is destroyed. The remote Andaman, which is lying only 100 kilometers from the epicenter of the earthquake, was struck within plus 30 minutes later. An hour after it hit Sumatra, the tsunami reached Thailand. It had lessened slightly in height and power but still struck the Thai coast with incredible force, and the sea surged out for about 200 meters. One of the worst hit places was Sri Lanka, which lay almost directly west of the earthquake's epicenter. The tsunami wave reached Sri Lanka within plus 2.00 hours later. The tsunami height recorded in Sri Lanka ranged between 5 to 10 meters, Table 1. Measured tsunami wave heights on Boxing Day. With no continental shelf to lift the tsunami's waves as they near shore, the Maldives gets off relatively lightly within plus 3.30 hours. Finally, tsunami waves strike Africa coast within plus 7 hours. The wave height along Kenya coast was between 2 and 3 meters, Table 1. Further, the Christmas tsunami was so powerful it actually sped up the rotation of the Earth, reducing the length of its sidereal day. The earthquake that spawned it also caused the Earth to vibrate all over by as much as 1 centimeter. In this regard, the critical question may be raised is what the tsunami effects on the ocean physical properties such as temperature and salinity. In fact, there are no many studies have been conducted to answer this question. Temperature and salinity are the main parameters can be used to describe the ocean status. Both parameters can produce vertical current movement because of their gradient changes. In addition, water density changes are function of gradual changes of temperature and salinity. Concerned with above perspective, we address the question of tsunami's impact on sea surface salinity, SSS, pattern changes pro and post tsunami event of 2004. This is demonstrated with moderate resolution imaging spectrometer, MODIS, i.e. the aqua/MODIS data level IB reflectance satellite data using least square algorithm. 3 hypotheses are examined. Least square algorithm can be used to retrieve sea surface salinity in MODIS satellite data during and post-tsunami disaster. Least square algorithm is automatic algorithm for retrieving SSS for short periods, i.e. couple of days. There is changes in SSS pattern post-tsunami 2004 event along Banda Aceh coastline.